I want to be the best podcaster in the world, which, when I say out loud, sounds crazy. But that's because I know the quality, I know what the pool is. You know what I mean? I know that there's a ocean and a couple of continents between me, little me, in this freezing cold garage, and that the end goal. It's still something I want to do. It's something I feel like deep in my gut I need to do. And I spend a hell of a lot of time thinking, well, what do I need to do? How do I get there? How do I become a great podcaster when, I might not even be a good podcaster right now? And the trick is to practice. Practice, because I'm going to just try and record something every day, interview people every day, and I'm very critical of myself. So we just did an interview, and I watched it back, and I thought, damn, I waffle a bit sometimes. I interrupted once or twice, which was stupid. You can hear me sort of going, whilst the person's talking, that's stupid. There's I need to get better at the production side of it. I'm doing this with a couple of old iPhones, some nice records, sound equipment now, but the visuals need a bit of work. Basically, there's a lot to do. I know that's the case, but I believe that because we've had a lot of failures in the last few months. We've had episodes that didn't work at all. We haven't been able to release an episode for a long time, or we hadn't been able to release an episode for a long time, but because of my lack of knowledge, because I messed up the equipment, it didn't sound good, there was an annoying hiss underneath, the audio, the visuals weren't good. I mean, I still don't know how to get a third microphone working so we can get poor George involved in an episode. But I believe that I can learn from every single mistake and every time we sort of trip up enough that I'm willing to commit. I mean, I'm willing to spend the next 10 years trying to be the UK's top podcaster. The goal ultimately is to be in the Spotify top 100 and then one day get to the top of that mountain, which is outrageous. But I feel like I can do it. I don't know why. I feel like it's in my gut. I've failed at a lot of things over the last few years, a lot of projects and endeavours that I've tried to do, but I'm at ease with them for the most part, because I've been able to extract some kind of information from those failures, like I didn't delegate very well, or I took too much control and I didn't have the skills necessary to achieve those things, and it's a very humbling experience. But hopefully with the culmination of these sort of failures and everything that we haven't been able to get right will mean that one day we will get it right. I mean, the last couple of episodes, the last diary episode we made about refathering myself, and the episode with Ollie Downton, when I watched them back, I thought, that's it. That's the Steve Kayla show. That's almost it. That's almost the Steve Kayla show. That's it. It's looking good. It's sounding good. We're on the right track. I feel like we're finally playing the same sport as other podcasters. And now we just got to learn. We've got to spend the next few years, like I say to Kevin and George, my co-hosts, this is the apprenticeship period. The next few years are learning about lighting and cameras and audio equipment and microphones, mic technique, how to be a good host. So it's all practice. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get to where I want to be. And that's what I want to talk about today, because I'm not embarrassed about that ambition. I know what you all think sometimes when you see me posting a podcast on, I'm always talking about the podcast on Instagram or on Facebook, and I know it can be, he's talking about his podcast again. But and believe me, I know when episodes aren't good. The entire Zoom era of the podcast, which is everything pre this garage era, was very hit and miss. Sometimes the content was good, but because it was over Zoom, the video was poor or the microphones weren't good quality. I know, believe me. And every episode now has to be a steady crawl towards my ideal version of the Steve Kayla Show podcast. Now, if you're listening to this and watching this and you want to help, then all you have to do is click follow, leave us a review on Spotify. We could shoot for the Apple Top 100 podcast charts, but for me, there's something about Spotify. Spotify is the cool kids table. it is that's where we want to be. We want to be sat with those guys at the top 100, and we want to be at the top of that top 100. But think about where we are now to where we got to go. The top podcasts in the country, Diary of a CEO, the Peter Crouch podcast, the Jack Mate podcast, Happy Hour, Joe Rogan. There is such a gulf between us and them. So we have to be humble and learn, what are they doing? Why does that work so well? How do we improve upon it if we can? Okay, we can. Let's do our own thing. Do you know what I mean? I promise, and this is a vow to myself, to my future self, one day this podcast will be something. I believe that this podcast will be one of the top podcasts in the UK one day, because I'm now at the right age and have been humbled enough by recent failures to acknowledge that it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of determination to get to where I want to be. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. I mean, I haven't got a lot to say on it really. I want to be making content regularly. I want to get your feedback regularly, and I'm going to keep doing the Steve's Diary thing because it's good practice, and I like doing it. I like talking to you. I like getting your feedback. I like hearing what you have to say. So thank you for everyone who contributes and messages, and it means a lot. It really, really does. So keep an eye on us, the Steve Kalish Show, because we might not be anything right now, but one day we will be, and that's my solemn vow to myself and to you. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. We've got some really good stuff coming up on the Steve Kalish Show, so click that follow button and just watch how we now plant the seeds that hopefully one day will become a mighty podcasting oak. So thank you. I hope you're okay. Are you okay? If you want to talk about anything, if there's anything that you want to say, then please feel free to reach out on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, or leave us a comment on TikTok or something, and we always get back to you. So thank you, everyone. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.
Hiya, you're right. Hi, everyone.